Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very special episode of L2PS2 here, actually in the 11th hour of the stream marathon going on for Team SOE Play It Forward for the Extra Life event on this very fine October 25th, 2014. So if you don't know about the event, if you are just tuning in, I'm sure you've heard something about it. We do have down below the stream a link to our team page, the SOE team page on the Extra Life website. I'm going to just refresh it here on my end, and I think we're closing in on $18,000 raised total. You can go there and check out the roster. We have 118 participants in total. I'm one of them. You can go to my page, you can go to anybody's page and make a donation, and it goes 100% of your proceeds goes straight to helping kids in need. So that's a wonderful, wonderful cause. There's perks abound for everybody. In fact, I know a handful of people have already donated on my page. I've been giving out my in-game polar bear decal, which you can see on my character's shoulder here. It's probably not the best way to display it, but I've been giving that out to anybody who donates via my fundraising page. So if you are a PlanetSide 2 player and want a little extra perk, I will email you via the Extra Life page a link to a code that you can redeem on PlanetSide2.com or SOE.com for your very own polar bear decal. If you don't know me or whatever, that is my logo, so it does have some sort of relevance. I hear RadarX also likes polar bears. But just to give a little bit of a background into me and the show and what's going on here, since I know we're broadcasting to a little bit of a different audience. Hopefully many of you guys are SOE gamers, but not necessarily PlanetSide 2 viewers or familiar with me or the L2PS2 series and whatnot so far. So my name is ItZMuRdA. I'm a PlanetSide player. I've been playing since PlanetSide 1 beta back in 2003. So I've been a part of the series for almost 11 and a half years now. Really, really happy to be a part of the community. Of course, I'm a PlanetSide 2 player through and through from the original alpha tech test, which is probably just over 2 years ago that started up now. Coming up on our 2-year anniversary just under a month from now, November 20th, so be sure to tune into all of the festivities going on with that. I play all 3 of the empires, as you can see here. A little bit overzealous in the in the character department, but I like to think it gives me a well-rounded approach into all of the different classes in the game and the weapons and so on and so forth. I'm primarily an infantry player, and that's where the L2PS2 show comes in. I broadcast that usually Monday nights. We've been doing that every week for a couple of months now. This would be episode 12 right here today, and then episode 13 to follow in just 2 days, this coming Monday, the 27th. It's normally 9:30 p.m. Eastern or 6:30 p.m. Pacific for an hour on Monday nights over at the official twitch.tv/PlanetSide2 channel. And I also host it on my own channel, which can be found at ItZMuRdA.com or twitch.tv/ItZMuRdA_TV. If you are looking to find my stream, I've been streaming PlanetSide 2 since March of last year, so it's probably a good year and a half now. I try to stream almost every day where work permits, so usually 6 nights out of the week I'm streaming PlanetSide 2 for at least an hour or two. So there's always a lot of fun stuff going on. I encourage you guys to check it out, whether you're existing PlanetSide players or just fans of the SOE games in general, and haven't really gotten your feet wet with PlanetSide in particular just yet. If you have any questions, I have a whole monitor over here dedicated to chat. So I will be here for 2 hours. We've got a bonus extended show. It's usually 1 hour for L2PS2. I'm here for 2 hours from 5 to 7 Pacific or 8 to 10 Eastern tonight. In honor of the Extra Life stream. So any questions, feel free to put them in chat at any time. I will try to answer everything I possibly can. And I know we have a handful of very helpful folks in the chat who may be able to pitch in their input as well. I'm going to try to figure about 40 minutes per empire to try to get a decent split here. I'll be playing on the Emerald server. If anybody does play PlanetSide, feel free to hop on Emerald, create a new character, or if you already have one existing, you're welcome to squad up with me and join. And in true L2PS2 fashion, I'm going to try to just give some insight into my thought process, the decisions that I make as an experienced infantry player, and why I choose certain fights or loadouts or classes or weapons or so on and so forth. So hopefully you guys find some use in that. If you are completely unfamiliar with PlanetSide 2, you can go to planetside2.com and check it out, completely free to play. You can download it and be up and running as soon as your internet connection download speed allows you to be. And it's really a wonderful game, unlike any other in the genre. I mean, it's your typical FPS, but on such a massive scale that we haven't really seen before, other than PlanetSide 1. So that unique role that it fits there is part of what's drawn me to it so many years ago and kept me interested through today. So you'll see, if you are familiar with PlanetSide, just so I explain a little bit what's going on here, this is one of 4 continents, and are probably the most popular and certainly the oldest continent. You're looking at the map. Normally, if you just start playing, your maps is gonna look like this. You're gonna have the Empire colors on them, showing NC in blue, the New Conglomerate, VS in purple for the Vanu Sovereignty, and TR, Terran Republic, in red. I go into my settings under interface, and I personally customize these to be gray for my friendlies. So since I'm playing NC at the moment, I'm going to make them gray, and then 2 different shades of red on at least the facilities for my enemies, which is what you had seen before. So that's why it looks like that. It's really just a personal preference. A lot of people ask if it's colorblind mode or something like that. It's not. It's just a personal preference. But I am going to be playing for NC, even though I'm got mostly black camouflage on here, as well as one of the black Skull Noir Inferno Skull helmets for the Halloween event, which actually gives bonus EXP when worn. That event's going on at the moment through November 9th. So I am wearing one of those at the moment. I'm not really very blue, but I am playing for the blue and yellow team, if you are, like I said, unfamiliar with any of that. So as far as jumping into game, especially if you're a new player, or even if you're not, I think one of the most important things to be familiar with is how you can best find a fight if you're starting out in a warp gate, or I mean, that's probably the most common place to start out. Even though you'll start on this deployment screen, there is a really awesome tutorial that you can get to by clicking on the support button bottom left and going to tutorial at any point in time, or it's the default for when you create a new character. So I do recommend, if you're brand new to the game, take your time with the tutorial. It's really worth it. It introduces you to the basics that you might already be familiar with from other FPS games, but it also goes over the specifics that are different and unique to PlanetSide 2. So that being said, I think finding the right fight, or finding a good fight in general, much less specifying what you think is a good fight for you, is super important. And a lot of people that are starting out may just, if they neglect to do the tutorial, they may start out in their warp gate and they're just wandering aimlessly, not really understanding how massive the universe is. And any one of these little bases or hexes areas can be the size of a typical map in your traditional arena shooter or something like that, and you're combining a ton of those, in a 8 kilometer by 8 kilometer square continent, which is one of 4 continents that fighting can be happening on at any given time. So I think zeroing in on making sure you're at a good fight is paramount in importance to kind of getting your feet wet, enjoying the game. If you're logging in for the first time, hey Godless, how you doing, man? That being said, there is continent locking as a feature in the game. You'll see Hassan and Esamir are both locked currently, fully captured by 1 or 2 of the Empires. It gives them a bonus, to minus 50% max infantry nanite cost, ground vehicle nanite cost. It basically, just helps you out with your resources for your Empire. And it means that no fighting can happen on those continents until they get unlocked over time, or by another continent locking after an alert happens or something like that. That's kind of a more advanced thing to explain, I guess, if we're talking about hopping into the game for the first time. But just to let you know why Endar and Amerish are the 2 continents currently that battle is active on, if that makes any sense. So these gray areas are my friendlies, as I had described, and I'm usually looking for a defensive fight just out of personal preference. Enemies are coming to you, so you can tend to get more experience that way by always having somebody to kill. But there's a lot of people that prefer attacking territory, and maybe they care a little bit less about experience, and they just want to conquer lands and things like that. And that's totally acceptable as well. I'm more of a solo player in general, despite being in one of the more active outfits that has been a part of the PlanetSide scene for many years. outfits or guilds or clans or what have you, if you're unfamiliar with the term, if you don't play PlanetSide primarily. That said, most of this is going to be solo play. Like I said, if you are interested in playing, shoot me a tell, say something in the Twitch chat, and we'll form up a squad if you happen to be playing the same Empire on Emerald that I am. If you are new to the game, you can always just go to the, hit escape or hit any of your UI buttons at any point in time. Go to the social menu, go to squad up here, and just join up with one of these random groups. There's also an outfit recruitment page. I'm in an outfit at the moment, but you can browse outfits that you might want to join through the outfit browser. I don't know if it's not loading for me just because I'm in one, or just because it takes some time. But getting in with an outfit, and much less even if you don't get in with an outfit right away, playing in public squads is certainly going to help you out early on when you're new to the game. There's full descriptions over here as far as certain outfits that you can join. This is just the first page, so I do recommend playing in a group. But as Tony was even saying earlier, it is entirely possible, if not a little bit more difficult, to play solo. I would say at least difficult at first. Once you get used to things, it's not necessarily. Some people prefer it. Others prefer being in larger groups. So that all said, I am going to actually hop into game, and I'll continue to talk while we're going over this. I am actually on Indar, just kind of, that's why I see all of these various spawn points at the moment. But you can check out reinforcements needed. This little space over on the left-hand side will often tell you where you're needed. Especially that's a really good way to find fights if you're new to the game. It's not always 100%, but right now it's given me a really good option. Silver Valley Arsenal. There's a 57% enemy population there, 43% friendlies. You can see that there's approximately between 48 and 96 players of both sides. It looks like someplace I want to at least check out, and I can just hit the deploy button. Since we're on, I believe it's actually a members double EXP weekend this weekend, so that boosts the, it gives a temporary boost to population. And since there's 2 locked continents right now, chances are both Indar and Amrish are going to be teaming with lots of people. So there was actually a queue to get into the continent, but it was pretty quick. Nonetheless, it actually put me back at the warp gate since I couldn't spawn directly into Silver Valley. Another thing you can do is hit your instant action button, which if you've played for a while, it might be home as your keybind. If you are newly installed, I believe it defaults to I, a little bit more intuitive for a keybind. It'll give you 10 seconds, it'll tell you where it's going to take you. You can cancel it if you don't like the choice, but in this case it also is suggesting Silver Valley, which is yet another way to find quick fights. So I am Light Assault, which is, I don't want to say the default class, but it is the class that you typically start as, even though you have the ability to switch to any of the other classes at a moment's notice. That is the class that your character will spawn at. It's a fairly simple class, but I think requires a bit of understanding of various systems in the game, as well as maps and level design and whatnot, to really kind of play to its fullest extent. Since you have the jetpack as your primary means of special utility here, being able to fly up the side of that building like I just did there, you sacrifice other special abilities or survivability or whatnot for that mobility, and kind of, I always say it's like you're playing with a different deck of cards than the other classes, since you can kind of come down on them from above and whatnot. I'd say it's my favorite class, just because of that agility and mobility of it. But not necessarily the best or most recommended to start out with. I think medic or engineer is probably takes the cake on that, just because of their support potential. You don't necessarily have to be getting kills. You can just be supporting your team through healing them up, reviving them, giving them ammo, and things like that. If you're playing a medic or an engineer, and you're still earning your own EXP, you're still kind of learning the game. So this guy's another light assault that's on the top of that. You saw me just pop a med kit there, which I live by. Those are utility slot items that any class can use, and I'm absolutely in love with them. I've joked, even though it's not even necessarily completely a joke, but I've joked and said before that I'd give up my primary weapon before I gave up medkits, and to an extent that's, I had to play with a pistol and a medkit, or like a rifle of some sort and no medkits, That'd be a hard decision for me. They really, I mean, you've seen me use 3 this life alone just to kind of get me back up and able to take on the next set of enemies. The time to kill is arguably quick in this game. Not as quick as some games, but certainly faster than a lot of other shooters you might be familiar with. So you certainly want to be at full health and shield, which are the green and the blue bars that you see in the bottom center of my HUD. Noctatuki, this is PlanetSide 2. It is completely free to play at PlanetSide2.com, or on Steam for that matter. And it's a MMO first-person shooter. And if you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to let us know. We'd be happy to answer them. We're here today for Extra Life as part of Team SOE Play It Forward, raising perhaps over at this point. We were very close to $18,000 in total, 100% of that going to various children's charities and Miracle Network hospitals throughout the country. Really a great cause. Extra Life, a great partner we're happy to be working with. And I'm here doing my 2-hour piece of a much larger stream schedule that you can see if you look right down below the stream. You click the link to the SOE team page to find out more information about what's going on, as well as a full schedule. I believe there might even still be some time slots. If you're a night owl overnight looking to stream on the channel, you can contact Brass, Linda Carlson at SOE, and see if she can set you up. With that, we've got some more action coming tonight. Merlister, I believe, is next with EQ, coming on after this show in about an hour and 40 minutes. And then you've got some Azure Twilight and some military gamers with Sergeant Ross. 2 separate shows, but 2 great PlanetSide outfits, doing some more PlanetSide 2 later. I believe there's some DCUO that follows them, and I'm not sure what's filling the overnight hours yet. But that schedule is up there and being updated. We all do have our individual pages. If you are interested in making a donation, it can be as small as $1 or whatever you're comfortable with. Anything helps. Certainly, build up our team goal here on the SOE team. And you can, if for instance, if you wanted to use my page, I don't think I have mod. I don't think I can link it in chat unless Tony did that last minute. But you can certainly go to just ItZMuRdA, ItZMuRdA is my participant ID on Extra Life. And if you are a PlanetSide 2 player, or even thinking about being a PlanetSide 2 player, there is an extra perk there of getting an in-game polar bear decal if you decide to donate through my page, as opposed to anybody else's. But that's not really what it's all about. It's about the kids. So anything you can do to help out off of anybody's page is certainly much appreciated. But I figured I'd make sure you guys were aware. This is the polar bear decal. See it on my shoulder in here. It is also a vehicle decal if you're curious. And I will just email you a code for anybody that donates as soon as this stream is over. I'll email you a code directly through the Extra Life website. And then you can just redeem that on PlanetSide2.com or in-game or otherwise. And we're going to be here for in the next hour and 40 minutes or so. Any questions about PlanetSide, about Extra Life, about anything that I can answer, I will be happy to. I'm watching the chat. Or even any questions about me, if you're unfamiliar with either myself or PlanetSide 2 or the L2PS2 show on the PlanetSide 2 channel one night at each week. This is PlanetSide 2, a massively multiplayer online first-person shooter. Like you'll see at this particular base, this is just one small area. If I zoom out on a much larger continent, of which there are 4 currently, and there are going to be more over time, And you've got probably 150 to 200 players from two of the different of the three different factions or empires here fighting it out at this particular base. Just goes to show the scale. And what I like about it is that on kind of like the macro level, you've got this never before seen scale in a first-person shooter. And on the micro level, we're just like, a few little guys over here at this one small base out of many, yet it still feels like you're playing a traditional first-person shooter when you're right here at this base. Gives you kind of a feel for how global and what sort of large scale the game is on. It is completely free to play. You can download it at PlanetSide2.com or off of Steam, whatever tickles your fancy in that regard. And if you have any questions about it, please let us know, and we'd be certainly happy to help. I'm one of the PlanetSide streamers. I try to stream 5 or 6 nights out of the week over at ItZMuRdA.com is my normal stream, so you can always tune into that after the fact. Send me a message, ask in chat, and I'll be happy to follow up. Answering any questions that I get on various social media sites and whatnot. Said I was going to try to play about 40 minutes per empire since we have a 2-hour show here. Try to spread the love equally. So we'll be on NC for about another 20 minutes or so. Just taking a look at some of the fights. It looks like we are attacking Xenotech, Quartz Ridge, and Wokuk for that matter. Not really defending any bases. As I said earlier, I prefer the defense just because of the ability to kind of have a steady stream of enemies coming to you rather than going to find them. It tends to do a little bit better for getting kills and stuff like that. I am primarily an infantry player. I will grab an aircraft here real quick just to show you some vehicle play, but I am up here in terms of infantry, way down here in terms of vehicles, in terms of the disparity in my ability to do well with either role in the game. So nonetheless, I'll grab something real quick and fly over. Yeah, it does have all access benefits. They actually are really good ones. You can see here it's just some of the all access benefits that the game offers. I've been an all access member since the inception of the new version of the program, and a PlanetSide subscriber since 2 years ago, as soon as I possibly could have. I always thought it was a really great subscription model for the game, and it didn't feel forced, but it felt like it also gave you some really, really convenient quality of life improvement sort of benefits. Not on the order of pay to win, but on the order of pay for some added enjoyment and convenience, or to get things done a little bit faster than you otherwise would, if that makes any sense. But I've always been a fan of the perks of the membership, and it's only gotten better over time. Got a scythe on my tail. That's the VS version of this aircraft. There's a ton of stuff here, so I'm probably going to just end up bailing out over this base. See all these guys down here. Killed one real quick before I hopped out. The vehicle was almost dead there. Shoot this guy in the back and then try to get my bearings a little bit. This is one of many generators. This is a tank generator. Something you can kind of stand here. You can see the progress bar in the circle as I overload the generator, and then it triggers a 2-minute timer where they have to come and secure it. It's just part of the capturing process of the bases, as opposed to just defending as I was before. Now we're looking at one little facet of capturing this much larger facility. I don't really have any friendly support over there, so I'm sure they're gonna take it back. These are our 4 potential spawn points, mobile spawn points, that other players have actually brought in here. But yeah, exactly as they were saying in chat, as far as purchasing things with station cash or real money, it is really all cosmetics, or side grades as they call it. And any of those side grades are also completely obtainable with certifications, which is the in-game experience-based currency. So there's not anything where you're just gonna buy a gun or something like that that's gonna give you an increase in power, or even necessarily be something that you can't get with the in-game currency. To add to that, they have a whole directive system that's relatively new. It's kind of an achievement system, if you want to compare it to other games, with certain specific rewards tied to that, whether it be specialty cosmetics or even some weapons and things like that in some cases that are only obtainable through that. They can't be purchased any other how with any currency for that matter, and are kind of progression driven. But at the same time, they're not items that are, you know, super great upgrades or anything kind of mandatory, if you will, that somebody who doesn't have the time to complete them wouldn't otherwise have access to something comparable. Again, I am playing a lot of light assault here, partially because it is my favorite class, partially because that's just what the fight kind of called for. That I've been in so far. There's a ton of guys over there. I don't really want to, you know, expose myself to any of these tanks or turrets or whatever for too long. I can get some pot shots in, but I might try a different approach here. I will definitely try to play some of the other classes though, whenever, you know, I feel like a specific situation calls for it, or maybe even when I switch empires. At the 40-minute marks. Oh boy, I did not want to hit that max or that lightning. This is, yeah, as I thought, not going to go over too well. But light assault's typically my preference for attacking a amp station, especially with, you can see 96 plus enemies and allies detected over on the right-hand side. So this base is crawling with a ton of people. What I may try to do here is grab a. Let me just. There's a lot of systems in the game. I wouldn't say that it's unnecessarily complicated or anything like that. But if you're starting out, there are a lot of systems that could seem overwhelming. I'll say that they definitely are not once you kind of get a hang of things. But if I'm trying to, you know, explain to you everything there possibly is in this game, it would take a little bit of time. But I think you kind of learn it at a nice rate. What I'm doing right here is partially what I was speaking about. I've been sitting on a bunch of chargers for my implant power core, and I was just utilizing them all there since I saw my battery charge was getting quite low. And now that 74,000 or whatever it is going to last me for quite a while. It really only drains at about, you know, 1 energy a second or half an energy a second, depending on what I have equipped for my implant slot, which is just another perk that you can use, such as increases the amount of duration that you can hold your breath when you're sniping, or my favorite would be battle hardened, reducing camera shake from explosions and flinch from being hit by enemy fire. So there's a bunch of different little perks that everybody more or less has access to through a quasi-loot system in the game, as well as purchasing almost like card packs. They're implant packs in quantities of 3 or 5. You can buy them either with station cash or certifications. I was just kind of neglecting to go into detail because it's I don't want to say complex, but you know, for if you're, you know, your first hour in the game, you might not need to worry about implants too much just yet. You start out with a little bit of implant energy and a enhanced targeting implant baseline, and that'll get you through, you know, kind of learning the basics. And then when you're ready to explore some of the more advanced things, implants is certainly one of them that you'll want to not neglect, if you will. But all in all, a nominal benefit in terms of not being something that you need to care about immediately. You know, you want to learn the basics first. But I had just seen that my implant energy was low, and I knew I needed to use those chargers, which are items that you accumulate over time, for the most part. So that's what I was doing there. I am an infiltrator right now, so that's, if you're unfamiliar with the game, that's probably the biggest change in what you see on screen right here. Playing a completely different class. It is both the recon, espionage, sort of stealthy class. You can see I have a temporary stealth with the energy bar draining on the left-hand side of the screen, and also the sniper class. It doesn't have to be both, though. You can play infiltrators in close quarters with submachine guns and things like that. But you typically will start out with a sniper rifle of some sort. I got the med kit off, but he hit me with a revolver. I was just wanted to kind of give you guys a brief overview there since I had switched over to it. I was trying it just as an alternative, and speaking of which, I can run the same class with a submachine gun to give you an idea of what that looks like as well, just as an alternative to light assault. Probably my second favorite class, a little bit more situational. Also one of the classes that I think takes a little bit more of a advanced knowledge of base design, level design, and the given fight that you're at, since you are innately more fragile than the other classes. You have less armor, less shield, however you want to look at it. Not by a whole lot, just 10% less. But you definitely are not going to quite as easily, he was dropped some proximity mines, didn't want to get hit by those, not going to quite as easily go head-to-head with other classes. So yeah, this is PlanetSide 2 right now. Since you have DCUO in your name, I'm assuming that's your game of choice. There will be some DCUO streaming coming on later this evening. I know this is followed by an EQ stream, and then I think it jumps back to PlanetSide 2 for a little bit, and then over to DCUO. But you can check out the full schedule down at the link to the SOE team page on Extra Life, which is linked right down below the stream itself, if you just scroll down a little bit. So you can also, Alasco, find out a lot more information about Extra Life and the team and what's going on here at that link. But just to give a brief overview, Extra Life is a website, among other things, that enables 100% of proceeds of donations to go to charities and children's hospitals around the country in order to benefit kids in need. With a hook that it's kind of relating to gaming in the ways that they help out, I guess would be a better way to put it. But that being said, a lot of gamers, game companies, streamers, YouTubers, and so forth get involved. And October 25th today is probably the big day of the year for 24-hour marathons and all sorts of things to be happening. You'll probably see elsewhere on Twitch throughout today. This is part of the big marathon that's been going on since 6 a.m. this morning, and will be continuing throughout the night on SOE's team with SOE employees and SOE partners, SOE streamers, SOE fans, gamers, otherwise, each taking their hour or two segments on this channel to play SOE games and to help raise awareness, raise support, collect donations, and otherwise for charity. So yeah, no, of course, thank you for tuning in. So I hope that helps. If you or anybody are feeling generous, even if it's only $1 or something like that you can give to charity, you can click the link down below and go directly to the team page. I will be on that team somewhere, maybe towards the bottom of page 1 or top of page 2 if you scroll down the roster. If you did want to donate to support my page, but it all goes to the same pool, it all goes to charity. It's just a matter of donating to different players who are pledging their donations to different hospitals or organizations for children's benefit. I don't know if it is or not, Godless. I saw somebody else say that. I'm wondering if it's Twitch, because there's a huge overload in streams today, I'm sure. On my end, I see 0 dropped frames, so I'm happy with that. That's not to say that something's not amiss, but I apologize if you guys are getting any sort of stuttery gameplay. For my segment of the show, I will be uploading, as I always do with L2PS2, VODs to my YouTube channel, which you can find over at ItZMuRdA.com if you click the link down below my stream. So feel free to check that out after the fact there, and it'll be hitch free. But yeah, I don't know. That's odd to hear. Fingers crossed that everything works great on my end for today, as this is of course. With any certainty. But anyway, as far as the one other thing I was going to say there with regard to Extra Life, PlanetSide, which is somewhat exclusive. It's my polar bear logo, if you're unfamiliar, the same thing you see up in the top right-hand corner of the screen. And then you can wear it on your characters in-game. Thanks to SOE for putting it in-game in the first place, of course. That's a huge honor, and I'm happy to be able to give back by handing them out for various reasons today, chiefly being because of charity donations. As far as the Infiltrator play at the moment, I am doing that SMG play. I'm using the Tempest, which is the Raxium SMG for NC, if you're familiar with the game. But if it's one of those directive reward weapons, one of the achievement rewards that I was speaking about earlier. And just trying to kind of show a little bit of how the Infiltrator class can play, more of like an agent espionage, sort of sneaky class. Microphone cutting out. I don't know. It's really bizarre. It shouldn't be. I do have push to talk on, but my finger is glued to that button from having push to talk for so many years. So shouldn't be cutting out. I don't know if like I said, everything looks good on my end with OBS. I am unfortunately familiar with ISP problems, so usually I know right away when it's acting up. Not sure what else that would be. I am watching it closely, both the microphone and just the drop frames in general. Really? How bizarre is that? How long did it cut out for? Of course, if there's anything I can do, technical difficulty-wise, I certainly will. But sometimes there's things that are outside my control, if you will, I guess. But all I was saying is that extra life donations on my page will grant the polar bear decal, among other things. Of course, the main goal there is to help out the kids, but just as an extra thank you for me personally and indirectly from SOE, be happy to provide anybody who makes a donation on my page with that information. Or rather with your own code that you can redeem in-game, either in the redeem a code button or slot over here, field for you to enter the code, or on SOE.com or PlanetSide2.com. We are right about the 40-minute mark, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch gears to TR or VS here, just to try to spread the love across the various empires. But I'm still always taking questions pertaining to Extra Life, PlanetSide, me, or otherwise. And I actually do have 2 of the polar bear codes to give away on the stream tonight, so probably seems like a good a time as any to do one of those now. So I'll give you guys the heads up. If you open any of these windows or fields on PlanetSide2.com or in-game, you just need to type the code. It'll appear on the bottom portion of the screen. If you're familiar with the L2PS2 streams, that's how we always do the giveaways. Just another way to get your hands on a polar bear decal. So we'll be giving out 2 of those. Thanks, Nicolaro. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm really pumped about it also. So I'm giving away another one here in just a minute, and then I'll probably give away a second one maybe an hour from now or something like that, 45 minutes from now later in the show. And yeah, you can, like I said, get one by donating to charity. That's a surefire way to do one. To get one at the moment. Also for subscribers of my Twitch channel, I'll receive one, but why not get one for free for these giveaways too? So I'm gonna go ahead and put that one up here in a second. And Hudson did unlock, but it was one of the contests that was locked earlier, but the fighting hasn't really warmed up too much yet. Taking a look at what's going on here. Crimson Bluff for TR, Quartz Ridge for TR. Just seeing what the fights may look like. I will probably jump on TR, so while I'm transitioning here, have at it with the first code. And good luck, have fun, enjoy. Switching gears to ItZMuRdA, my TR character. If you are, hanging out and wanting to actually play in game here. Gonna just do the usual, switch my empire colors over real quick. we should be good to go. Pop back over to the chat. There we are. Alright, so we have Ickenham Biolab as a possibility of a defensive fight. I was also looking at Crimson Bluff earlier, or Quartz Ridge. Crimson Bluff being one of my favorite towers in the game. TI Alloys is actually, whoa, no, that was not exactly what I wanted to happen. Pop back over to Endar. TI Alloys is actually looking potentially pretty good. I'm going to check it out. It's a small fight, but we are slightly outnumbered, 24 to 48 on both sides. That is kind of my speed, if I'm honest. So I prefer the mid-sized fights where we're slightly outnumbered. So I may check that one out. Had to pop, wait in a short queue there, so I'm not going to get exactly directly ported over to TI Alloys, but I will get onto here. I can check out my instant action, and of course it is TI Alloys. So that worked out perfectly. Since I don't know what I'm dropping into, I'm going to probably go infill real quick. Just briefly, last second, switch that out there as I drop in. And yeah, that was a code for the polar bear decal. I have another one to give away later today, and I also give away at least one a week on the L2PS2 channel, or on the PlanetSide 2 channel for the L2PS2 streams on Monday night. As I know you are familiar with Zimboni since you've been around for a bit. You can also, as I was saying before, get one for donating to charity. What better way to receive a little bonus perk there than to donate 100% of whatever amount you feel comfortable giving to kids who are in need around the country. So donating through charity on my page, my Extra Life page, is actually a pinned tweet on my channel, or on my Twitter page, and I've linked it a few different places. You can find it through the SOE team page that's linked down below this stream as well. Any donation you're comfortable with, and I will shoot you over a polar bear decal. I know in some cases maybe folks did not fill out their email address or chose to be anonymous or whatever with their donation, which has prevented me from being able to send a code directly because I don't have a way of contacting you. So if that does happen to you, feel free to just, pretty sure I just got shot a lot by a friendly, yeah. Feel free to just, shoot me a note wherever, and I'll get it fixed and I'll send one over to you. There are a lot of guys in on the A point, so I'm going to, let's see here. Switch gears. I haven't played TR Heavy in a little bit, so I will throw the decal on this loadout, as well as throwing one of the Halloween helmets on. Want to throw the slasher on. Gotta have that. And the candy cannon. Now we are fully ready to go. This is a close range heavy assault loadout. Using the NS-15M, not necessarily my favorite LMG, but it's fairly versatile, very accurate. Running advanced shield capacitor and resist shield, which is my ideal preference for heavy assault play. Did clear out A point. There's one guy over there. It's Max. I don't really want to mess with that too much. There's an engineer AI turret up there as well, which probably has a really good vantage on me. So yeah, Godless. If we get a good opportunity for that, absolutely. I know I mentioned earlier, if you don't know what Godless is talking about, I'm primarily an infantry player, but the Flash, which is the ATV vehicle, the quad basically, in the game, is really the only vehicle that I use a lot, and honestly the only vehicle I think I'm any good with. And we definitely have a lot of fun with that, just depending on the situation. So hopefully we can find some good ones for it, and I'll jump on that later on here. I think Rai will be on his own channel henceforth. He was on twice earlier today for the EQ1 and EQ2 streams. I don't believe he's going to be back on this channel tonight, but I do know that he said he was going to be streaming, I think, from his own channel this evening, which you should be able to find him on. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on that, or provide the information. But I know a lot of folks, and if you go to the SOE team page on the Extra Lives website, you'll see that there are a ton of players participating on the team that aren't necessarily streaming on this channel, but are doing their own things on their various websites or streams or otherwise to help out in the Extra Life effort on SOE's behalf. So certainly look into that, check that out, see what everybody else is doing. Just barely saved that guy from getting shanked by shanking the guy about to shank him. That guy has a mask on. If you're curious, I'm trying to prioritize kills on other people wearing masks, part of the Halloween directive going on. If you are a PlanetSide player, you're probably familiar with what I'm talking about. These guys wearing masks is obviously just a player choice whether or not they want to purchase a mask, and it does give an EXP benefit and allows you to complete a handful of the Halloween directives. That being said, the final tier of the directive that I'm on this character does require, for one of them, one of the individual parts of the directive, it requires 300 kills on people wearing masks, unless you kind of get lucky and find enough of the rare pumpkins. So I'm always trying to prioritize getting kills on masked enemies wherever I can. Yeah, exactly what Nicolara said. Totally possible in this game to be slain by a brand new player or whatever. The time to kill is short enough. The fact that there's so many people in the area at any given time is a huge factor. And also just the fact that really over time the thing that's increasing most is your own personal skill, not really your character growing more powerful. In some respects, yes, but it's not directly related to the time spent by any sort of means. Whereas in a typical MMO, if you have a level 100 character, there's no way a level 5 is going to kill them. Whereas that's totally possible here. Again, running the NS15M right here. Kind of a typical loadout for it, in my opinion. Laser sight soft point. It's a close quarters loadout, but I am still able to use it into mid range due to the very good accuracy of the NS15. If I'm honest, I'd probably prefer an MSWR as a TR light machine gun, but you can definitely still make this work. If you're looking for long range, the TMG grip can still end up working very, very well for you. I kind of want to grab a flash, but it might almost be too late. Got them kind of pushed out quite a bit at this base. It is double EXP weekend for members. It's another wonderful perk that happens at least once a month for all access members. So if you are, feel free to hop in game and enjoy some of that this weekend. There's Sunder, which is their spawn point. It's probably right around that waypoint I set. Here I am on my flash with the shotgun on for the lulz, but I don't know if I don't know how good I'm going to do with it, given how much they're kind of pushed back in here. It is a vehicle that can stealth, given it's relatively low. I've managed to run that guy over. Stopping power in comparison to other vehicles. But the stealth in this game, as with the infiltrators or the flash, is somewhat relative. It's not. That was actually very good accuracy that the guy maintained. He hardly did any damage to the flash, but managed to kill me despite bobbing and weaving around. So I was going to say, if I had more of an escape plan, like if the Sunder was over here and I could use all of this terrain rather than having to roll down the hill, I'd be in a little bit of a better situation. But what I was saying is kind of the shimmery effect that you see on my gun right now is the same effect that anything in this game that is stealth has. So nothing is going to be completely invisible or anything like that. It's just a matter of knowing what to look for on stealth targets. Ate a rocket that time. That's never good for a very low armored vehicle. But for Godless, if nothing else, just to show off the the enjoyment that that vehicle can provide. Not exactly the best situation for it, but it's also a very low resource vehicle, since it's so fragile and essentially so weak in comparison to a gunship or a tank or something like that. But I find it to be a lot of fun. Yeah, there's another guy with a rocket. With all of these tanks out, it's pretty easy to take me down. And since I don't really have an escape, I have to kind of do a loop and then come back. I get pigeonholed in there pretty easily. But anyway, I'm actually going to switch back to light assault, and that way I can jump up on that rock with them, get up close and personal for the time being. And Neonex, if you scroll down below the stream, you can click the link to the SOE team page. Probably the easiest way to get more information about the whole Extra Life thing and what we, the employees and friends and community and gamers of SOE are doing, for our part. But it's a 24-hour marathon of streaming, among other things, primarily SOE games, raising money for children and charities and children's hospitals around the country, with various gaming-related perks, both for the kids that are receiving that support, as well as for the donors and participants themselves. It's really just a great event put together by Extra Life that great for everybody involved, whether you're a recipient or a donor. And we're happy to be participating, supporting a great cause and raising awareness. I could, as an alternative, grab a sniper rifle or something of that nature, and go kind of further east, flank around a little bit. That's an option. I mean, how you want to play PlanetSide is totally up to you, and in any given moment, depending on the base that you're at, the empire you're playing, the class you're playing, the vehicle you're using, what your enemies are all doing. You can constantly be making decisions. That's a little bit awkward. Oh, and I have a candy cannon to boot, which is not gonna give me the ability. I thought he was gonna keep running, but he turned right as I scoped, and what I can do here is grab a TSAR-42, run this loadout instead. I think I would have been able to kill both of them if I had to. This is also a sniper rifle, but it runs on close quarters optics and things like that, which much easier to actually see your enemy in close quarters than having a 6x scope or something like that. Are actually push up on the base again a little bit, so I'm trying to diversify the classes that I'm playing for this stream. I'm going to shift gears here, throw my Skull Blanc on for maximum EXP benefit, and jump on heavy again. I'm using a T9 Carve, which is actually the default light machine gun for heavy assault on TR. You don't have to pay a dime or a cert to use it, to receive it. Really all I've done is spent 105 certs upgrading 5 certs for the scope, 100 for the forward grip, and other than that, it's accessible to anybody. It's pretty easy to get those 105 certs if you need them. Not that I necessarily recommend that that's the first spot that you spend your first 105 certs, but just going to show that while there's some max in there, that it's a very effective weapon at all ranges for TR heavies, and something very accessible even to players. You see a max in there that I just killed usually takes about two direct hits from a rocket launcher, among other explosive type weaponry. They're an infantry class. Soldier to kill, and also can deal out a lot more damage depending on how they're outfitted for anti-infantry, anti-aircraft, or anti-vehicle. Limey, I don't actually know who is still watching the chat from SOE, if anybody. I'm just a gamer community member, partner, and so forth, but I don't actually work for SOE. Nonetheless, Brass was chiefly organizing the Extra Life event, and Radar X was the individual that was kind of following up on a lot of the specifics as well. So between the two of them, I think they would probably be able to assist. I know just a couple hours ago they were still looking for people to stream on this channel into the wee hours of the morning to follow up after some of the streams that are set for this evening. So you can tweet them on Twitter. Might be the easiest way if you don't have a direct line of communication via email or otherwise. You can even tweet at Sony Online, and I know folks are watching that Twitter as well. As you can see, going back to the carve here, able to really mow people down. That range that I just killed those 3 people at is probably ideal for the carve in my opinion. And I am not at all at a disadvantage because I'm using a default weapon or anything like that. It's not. PlanetSide is definitely not a game where you need to feel like you have to get the next gun right away, or upgrade your gun. You start out with garbage. Nothing like that at all. Many of the decisions or upgrades, especially with regard to guns and weaponry, are all side grades, alternatives, and not really anything where you're going to see direct power increases, with the exception of upgrading your suit slots, your utility items, in the sense of, oh, you can carry 1 medkit, then you can carry 2, then you can carry 3, then you can carry 4, or upgrading your armor types to mitigate more damage, or something along those lines. The entry-level certs for all of them are very inexpensive, so they're very easy for anybody to acquire, and it's just kind of specializing in certain things. But all of that is upgraded with certs, and none of that is purchasable with real money. Yeah, the masks are a lot of fun. Unfortunately, just to go in line with keeping the integrity of the universe from a visual aesthetic standpoint, thanks to our wonderful friend Tremel Isaac, who poured his life and soul into the visual awesomeness of PlanetSide 1 and PlanetSide 2. As of November 9th, these items will, the Halloween masks, if you will no longer be usable until another Night of the Living Dead event, which may happen for next Halloween, or just whenever SOE decides to turn that on. You still get to keep everything that you purchased, but won't be usable year-round for that reason. They also give a temporary EXP buff for the time being. Keep in mind, as of maybe a few months ago, you can also spawn faster. There's a faster respawn time if you spawn either from the death screen, just respawn right away, auto respawn, or even if you go back to your deployment screen or your map screen and you decide to spawn at the exact same spawn point you previously spawned at with the exact same loadout, you shave a few seconds off your spawn time, which I really like. Helps reinforcement a lot. Oftentimes I'll be using the same loadout at a given base over and over. So you saw me respawn pretty quickly there, even at a Sunderer, which typically has a slower respawn rate than a base would. This is the death screen that I was talking about, by the way. And this is the auto spawn that gives you the faster spawn point, or you can go back to your map. This gives you kind of an overview: who killed you, what you're working on, where your stats, ribbons, and so forth are at, what your previous life looked like. Probably should have shot the guy on the left that was actually shooting at me, but luckily he was deterred. Went back over the hill. There's another guy right here. And a guy with a mask, which takes precedence. Oh, it's our good friend Clipto, the guy with more friends than anybody in the world. Got to meet him at SOE Live, speaking of which. Had a blast at SOE Live 2014. Can't wait for SOE Live 2015. I definitely recommend, if you guys can make it out there. It's well worth it. It's a ton of fun all around. We did kill their mobile spawn here, so you can even tell from the pie chart over there as far as less and less people at this base. Still some to kill, but I typically will redeploy, which is either the delete key. I'm gonna die here. There's really, I don't think, any way out of it unless I get lucky on a reload. Break some line of sight with that mag rider. Oh, okay. It used to be the delete key, which it still is for me, but in later iterations of the game, I believe it is the U key now as default. Something you'll want to use to get out of dodge, to get out of a situation where your character might be stuck, even though it hardly happened, or just to quickly move to the next base. I just kind of moved halfway across the continent, and I'm back in the action, just because that one base was kind of, you know, folks that had already been pushed out, if you will. This base is one that's being somewhat spawn camped pretty good, not completely. There's only a minute left on the cap. I doubt we're going to get it back given the status of the base at the moment. We've got guys shooting us from up on this. Got a Liberator aircraft above us. Got rockets coming in, bullets coming in. Kind of under heavy fire here. Just trying to push out whatever we can. There he is, speaking of friends. I would probably, well, I guess the Carve is alright to use for this situation. I was going to say, given the proximity of these enemies, I would maybe use something closer. Or what I might do, since they're all focused on spawn camping, is run an SMG infill build. And I do actually, you can see my Halloween 2014 objectives tracking in the left-hand portion of my screen. So I do need boogeyman kills, which are knife kills with the Shanker knife that was added for Halloween this year, while wearing a mask, among other things. So, just trying to sneak up on some of these guys. There's a quick knife kill. There's another. That guy did have a mask on, so I also got a mass murder credit for that. So I'm kind of always keeping that in mind. I did actually complete the Halloween directive master tier on my NC character, so now I'm going at it on TR and VS as well, just trying to do whatever I can to progress this. Trick or Treat, Boogeyman, Leatherface, and the Space Pumpkins will probably be the 4 easiest. You need 5 of the 6. So Mass Murder comes over time, or Rectal Lantern comes if you get lucky, basically, with the rare pumpkins that you can find during pumpkin alerts, but I won't necessarily bother with that right at the moment, because it can be, despite it being fun to participate in, can be boring to watch. So that's for my own stream. But yeah, they are in fact making some changes to the PPA. And Fuzzy Lucky, there is not a release date set for PS4 yet. Let's see if I can. Yeah, oh, that was. Okay, I thought that was the guy I injured before, but it was the other guy. They look pretty similar. I was gonna try to get 3 knife kills there. I actually should have probably tried to get a candy cannon kill since he was just sitting around and had a mask on. But anyway, no release date yet, but everything I've heard and we've been hearing for quite some time is still by the end of the year, which is only 2 months away, that will at least be in some sort of a release form of whether it's beta or whatnot. The game will be playable by the masses, hopefully, by the end of the year still. That's the last that we've heard. I'm looking forward to it. I got to play it at SOE Live about 2.5 months ago, and it was in a fairly polished, good feeling form then. I'm much more of a PC gamer than I am a console gamer, but I am going to be checking it out on console and looking forward to seeing how that plays, being able to kind of help advise and learn the different control schemes and whatnot. But I will still primarily be playing the PC version. Here I am in my natural habitat. Well, I was hoping that guy was going to run up on me. Using this guy's turret for some makeshift cover. And it did exactly what I needed it to do. So don't necessarily run to kill enemy turrets and whatnot when you can use them as line of sight and you can use them as points of cover, like I did there. They can be invaluable in keeping you alive. Oh, that's a sticky nade. I'm dead. Yeah, Lancener, I think it will. I think the community on PS4 or consoles in general for first-person shooters is massive. So I think it will do well. I think it'll bring a lot more people to the game. I'm declining that race just because we've kind of pushed them out, and I'm just looking for something new. That said, I think, much like me, PC gamers are a little bit of a different breed for the most part than console gamers. There is some overlap. I don't think it'll pull too many people away from the PC game if we're, kind of established PC players. So I think it'll just be all in all good for bringing new people into the community and helping the game out. Ickenham is an option. Silver Valley. I'm going to head back there, see what that looks like. I'm able to spawn directly into there this time because there was not a continent cap or a population cap on Amerish. So you can see me switching continents and not only starting at the warp gate like I did the other times, but spawning directly in right here, which is very convenient. Yeah, right, Nicolara, that'd be pretty interesting. Sticky nades are very deadly in the right situation, or even to ignorant or unsuspecting, unaware foes that happen to run into groups of their friends with a sticky grenade stuck to them. Yikes. Minimap awareness is not something I've said much about this stream, but something I keep wanting to mention because I keep finding situations where oh, there's our friend Clipto again. No. Got a little too greedy there. I keep finding situations where I'm using my minimap. As an infiltrator especially, you get either a motion sensor that you can place down or the recon detect darts sensor device that I have at the moment, where you can shoot darts out that then will give you some radar advantage in the area that you shoot them to. I think that's huge. I think the average player doesn't really make great use of the minimap, or even audio cues, listening to where things are at, where enemies are at. So that's one of the biggest things, especially for new players and veteran players alike. Got about 10 minutes left on the TR play here, and then we're going to hop in for the remaining third of the stream and play some VS to spread the Empire love equally here. Got a little greedy there trying to get the cannon kill. Soon, Nicole. There are so many people up on this hill. Is trying to drop some C4, which is a very useful thing that you can do as light assault. I often run medkits unless I know I'm in a specific situation where I want to have that C4, but it can be very deadly. People not really looking up above and drop a set of explosives on top of you. This ridgeline is interesting because I wanna kind of get some candy cannon kills without overextending a little much there, but there is somebody right around this corner. He's about to peek. More mini-map usage there that gave me the heads up on that. They too have a motion sensor. I don't have EMP grenades, which would otherwise allow me to disable their motion sensor or any equipment through the other side of that. Trying not to overextend too much. Wow, who is lighting me up back there? There we go. Scored a candy cannon kill. I'd say that would be the hardest part of the Halloween directive. You need to be wearing a mask, your enemy needs to be wearing a mask, and you need to kill him with the gun that literally shoots candy. And as such, as you can imagine, if you're not familiar with it, does not do a lot of damage. It considers a weak sidearm at that. So generally, try to make sure you're wearing a mask, stalk somebody who is wearing a mask, and then light them up with a real weapon, and then switch. Or you can even maybe knife them if you happen to get that close to them, and then switch to your candy cannon and finish them off. They did lower the amount of kills you needed for that directive to where I'd say it is one of the ones you want to try to complete, even if gradually, so you don't drive yourself crazy trying to get it all done at once. But certainly the hardest in terms of actual skill required, or situation required, if you will. Whereas the Galactalanterns would probably be the hardest in terms of just pure rarity. The special pumpkins that have to spawn. So I'm kind of being a little careless here, since I know there's so many of them up on this ridge line. Just trying to run around and see if I can sneak up on any of them, not only to get kills, but ideally to get kills on people wearing masks, and to take that a step further, on people wearing masks with a candy cannon. So that's me here at the moment. I believe it might be Clipto or somebody wearing a Halloween pumpkin head that I just saw there. It must have, he just got taken out. I don't think it was him, but it was somebody with a Halloween mask. Again, I'm using the Shuriken here, which is the PR version of the Tempest SMG that I was using earlier, the Araxium Directive SMG reward. It takes the SMG 46 Armistice, normal tier 1 SMG for TR, and puts a unique spin on it in terms of... They've got a lot of motion sensors down, which is not so good for me right now. I'm pretty obvious to all of these guys without a lot of cover. I can try to get some medic gameplay in. I don't know if I have a Halloweenized medic loadout right here. I think this would be good for the T1S. So, let me just really quickly throw on the Skull Blanc, throw on the Slasher, and throw on the Candy Cannon. Where did we go? And we've Halloweenized this loadout. I don't have somebody in my squad, so the medic gameplay is a little bit different there. It's much more of a support center for your squad. But I know it's a class I haven't played yet tonight, so we'll get some of that in. I'll try to play some Engineer probably on VS when we switch over, just so that I've at least played a little bit of each of the 5 main infantry classes. And I could probably play some Max too if you guys want. It plays a little bit differently though. Candy cannon there, but couldn't chance it. Is it over my head? Yeah, I am wearing a white flaming skull at the moment, which is one of probably the more obvious masks. So likewise, enemies that are working on their directives are also looking to hunt people like me down. So you definitely make yourself more of a target. Oh, that proxy mine must have killed. There's the white flaming skull laying on the ground. The unfortunate side effect of being a really big target for vehicles, which is part of when I enjoy playing Infiltrator, because I can kind of cloak when I'm in line of sight of a vehicle, and then get to a more advantageous position where I can get back into infantry fighting. Nice, Nick. Very good. How's it going? Sorry, I'm playing medic, combat medic, with I should have reloaded here. In a semi-unfortunate situation with enemies all around me. I probably shouldn't have even done that, because I'm not really using a close quarters weapon at all. That range that I killed those first 2 people very easily, that's really the ideal range for the T1 Cycler, which is just a variant of the default assault rifle for TR. Kind of ideal for mid-range for me. very, very accurate at that sort of range. But not the best stopping power or even hip fire accuracy at close quarters compared to options like the TAR or even the TRV. Yeah, thankfully more and more people are wearing masks. As time has gone on, it's been easier to get them. It's been easier to get pumpkin seeds, and there's more incentive with the EXP bonuses associated with them. The mass murder directive is going faster and faster with each day. I was thinking that I was hoping to not have to do it again on these characters because it is quite a lot of mass kills. But unless I luck out like you did with the Galacta Lanterns, thinking that I'm probably going to have to do it. I ended up completing almost 10% of it here just in the 40 minutes that I have played TR tonight, though, so that's not all bad by any means. There's one of those max units you'll see. I mean, I put 30 bullets into him most likely, and he's probably not even close to dead from that alone. He finally goes down, a BR4 character, so relatively new to the game, or to that character at least, but still able to withstand an immense amount of damage. He was just in a bit over his head there. You can res these people up. I do recommend, if you do, to try to always be moving to try to avoid fire from things. I even still got taken out there, but that's, I think, a large reason why a lot of people recommend medic early on. You can bring in pretty much, I don't want to say the same amount of EXP as you could killing somebody, but a considerable amount of EXP just from the heals and the revives as you familiarize yourself with the game and get more comfortable with the combat, if that makes sense. As you can tell, though, you still can certainly take down enemies in combat quite well. It's not like the medic is inherently weak in head-to-head combat by any means. Trying to pick these guys up in between not dying to these guys. There's a C4. Oh, wouldn't that have been fun if I killed the C4 and blew that guy up? Apparently I'm bad at aiming at it with a candy can. So we're just about ready to switch over to VS here, 2/3 through the stream, and I will, as I'm switching over, give away, it's Clipto, give away another polar bear decal on the actual stream itself. Here's an infiltrator. He was relatively still, but I still saw the shimmer out of the corner of my eyes. I am going to switch over here to VS. Even though this is a pretty good fight, I'm enjoying this sort of fight is my sort of fight where it's not really overrun by either Empire all that quickly. You just get to have a good, wholesome battle that lasts for some time, rather than the defenders pushing them out right away or the attackers taking over right away. So I'm going to switch over to VS. I'm going to put a code in the bottom of the chat and or in the bottom of the screen for you to type in on SOE.com, PlanetSide2.com, or in-game in the redeem a code section of the depot, and that will get you a polar bear decal, which is hard to see on this particular shoulder pad in-game. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that up in a moment. Switching over my recursion stat tracker here, if you're familiar with the game. An awesome community created tool that I certainly recommend at recursiontracker.com. You can check it out. It's really, really great. I don't have it up for this particular stream, but I almost always use it on my actual stream. And here's that code. Bam. Yep, that decal that Godless put in chat. I'm going to hop on VS here for the remaining third of the stream. Another way to get that decal is to do kind of what we're all here for and help the kids out. The Extra Life charity promotion to help children out through various children's networks, hospitals, and so forth around the country. Making a donation through my page, which can be found at extra-life.org/participant/ItZMuRdA, or you can just find me from the SOE team page, which if you scroll down right below the stream here, you can see a link to that. You make a donation on that page, it'll send me a message, and I'll be able to respond to it with a code to give you your very own polar bear decal. And I will happily do that as a thank you for supporting charities out there. So just an extra little perk for helping out. So I am on VS on Emerald. If anybody wants to hop in and play, I switched over my map here. This is Rust Mesa, which is the base that was being camped earlier when I was on TR, I believe it was. There's your pink or your purple, Nicole. So hopefully you're still here. We didn't forget. There's a bunch of Sunder's tanks kind of stuck behind those buildings. That's true, yeah. You can search on extralife.org, search MURDA or ItZMuRdA, and it will take you to my page as well. Here I am, VS, starting out as light assault. That's kind of my go-to, getting a feel for the situation. I'm kind of flanking far west. Chuck a grenade in there for good measure. It can certainly get a bit confusing when you're switching empires, especially when you're switching, and you're playing 3 empires and within a duration of 2 hours, which is why I really like my actually I'm engineer. I thought I had spawned since light assault, but I'm using a carbine either way. Which is why I like my my gray-red friendly enemy thing, so you don't really hesitate to when you're firing on your target. I believe I accidentally team killed some guy there, so just apologizing to him real quick. So I am actually playing engineer, which is perfect because that's what I had wanted to do at some point. It uses carbines primarily, which is the same weapon class as light assault. I'm using the Eclipse, which is the Araxium directive reward carbine at the moment, and it functions off of a heat mechanic, which is shared only by a few other weapons, the Dark Star and the Beetlejuice, the Araxium directive rewards for VS for assault rifles and light machine guns respectively, where it basically has infinite ammo, but it has a heat mechanic where your bullets are used over time with that meter on the bottom portion of my screen, and then recharges over time. It's the same functionality that turrets and things like that in the game have, but unique to VS as far as actual handheld weapons go. Perhaps my favorite part of engineers in general, the ability to run sticky grenades and grenade bandolier to hold 4 grenades at a time. This isn't really the ideal situation for it, but you can wreak some significant havoc with that. Let me go ahead and just pop that code off the screen, but congrats to the 2 of you guys who received those tonight. So if I get in a good opportunity for that, I will certainly see what I can do to show off what I'm talking about. And some enemy deployables there. It's part of a directive, but it also... You can get either of those kills just injuring everybody in the world right now. Wow. Actually got a candy cannon kill on somebody not wearing a mask. Go figure. That doesn't help us out a whole lot. Was able to pop the med kit there since he was using a low magazine SMG, probably an Armistice, maybe a Tempest. I was able to actually pop the med kit, force him to reload, and then reload myself and kill him in the meantime. So you can see me kind of juking around with additional med kit usage there. That's why I'm just such a huge fan of them. Welcome back, snitches. But same thing here, you see a different set of progress on the master tier of the Halloween directive. That's what I'm working on with these characters. I'm going to try to pinch a candy cannon kill, but failing miserably. Had an opportunity to hit him with 6 shots, only hit him with 1. Wasn't enough to drop him. Despite that would have been a good situation to get 1 of 20 credit for the trick-or-treat directive done. These guys are unfortunately a little bit spread out. Ideally for sticky nades, you really want them to be clustered. They might be a little bit more clustered down the hill, but I don't know that I can, how easily I can get down to them and work my way down. Yeah, there's actually a pretty huge cluster of enemies right over here that I'm going to try to toss my I wonder if that grenade got far enough down there. Got a handful of kills, not quite as many as I hoped. Everybody's just falling over at the moment. There's a few extras. Fortunately, I'm just... Oh, it was a Banshee. Okay, I was going to say I'm dying to friends or something. Hey, we are 138. Good old friend with the revive. Although the fight is over, you see some directives updating in the corner, just frag grenade kills from previous, as well as multi-kills from those sticky grenades. I guess we moved along some progress in the explosives directive, so that's what that was. Redeploying out of here because the fight is done, and I'm going to take a look at another one. If I can get an opportunity to play engineer at a base or a fight that really does it justice a little bit more, I certainly will. I'm just going to take a look. I'm not, by complete coincidence, wearing the same shirt as Tony today, by the way. Once I saw that, I promise you we did not plan it. But when he was streaming PlanetSide earlier, I was like, how about that? I picked the same one. Really cool shirt, though. Beefy tee. And yeah, Hunters, this is PlanetSide 2, free-to-play MMO FPS, as Lancener had said. You can download it for free at planetside2.com. It's really unlike anything else other than PlanetSide 1 that I think we've really ever had on the market. Right now it's for PC, and it is coming to PlayStation 4 very, very soon. So if you have any questions at all, please let us know. I stream most nights of the week over at ItZMuRdA.com, so even though this particular segment only has about a half hour left, you can always track me down, ask me questions, send me messages on various social media, and I'd be happy to help. There's been plenty of times that folks new to the game have sent a message, and you know, I'll certainly do anything I can to answer any questions. I don't know how easy of a approach. There we go. So they are all up in the A point right now. You can see from sensor darts, a lot of guys in that building. There's a grenade that's going to take 3/4 of my health. Don't know if there would be a better fight to be in. There is a pumpkin hunt going on in Hassan at the moment, but I don't want to necessarily commit to that. So I'm just looking for some fight options for playing VS here, since we played NC and TR for the first and second third of this stream. Wanted to get a good situation for sticky nades. It's really the main reason why I play engineer, unless I specifically am running a vehicle and I need to repair it, or running with a Max friend and I need to repair him, or running ammunition for the squad and I need to resupply the squad, something along those lines. Otherwise, engineer is a little bit more stationary. You can use turrets and things like that, and I'm just a very outwardly aggressive sort of playstyle. I was hoping to spawn at that Sunder and try a different approach, but that doesn't look like that's going to happen. This base is now overwhelmed by 2-to-1 pop, more than 2-to-1 pop, 96 plus enemies. It sometimes is just a situation where, you know, you kind of cut your losses to an extent and try to find something that is a little bit more fruitful or enjoyable. I could try Nevermore, that's one of the Halloween names, temporarily for bases. I'm not going to tonight, Nick, just given my normal stream schedule. I'm actually working an event at my job in the real world tomorrow morning, and I have to be up really early for that. I usually don't work on Sundays, so that's always fun. So my stream will probably be returning Monday night with the L2PS2 episode 13 on the PlanetSide 2 official channel at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Would probably be the next time that I'm going to be streaming, and then we'll be back to normal with Tuesday through Saturday next week on my channel for a couple hours each night. Usually right around this time, 8 to 10 Eastern or so, as I know you are familiar with, since you usually tune in and subscribe and support the stream, so I am very thankful for that, of course. We appreciate your support, sir.
I'm going to try to get over to ItZMuRDA. Don't have the resources to pull the aircraft right now. Probably just spent a handful on sticky grenades, if I had to guess. You can see research next deposit. You know, so in 15 seconds I'll have a few more, but I'll have to wait a minute and 12 seconds now in order to have enough to pull this vehicle, since that's kind of a minute by minute deposit. So I'm going to just take advantage of the instant action, hop on over to Crux headquarters, and see what that looks like. Wow. Well, that's a lot of TR. I kind of almost wish I dropped as an engineer and had a sticky grenade there, because that was a bit crazy. It looks like we're going to get pushed out. We only have one deployed spawn left. They're closing on it. We have another one over there. I don't know if he's going to be able to actually get it up. So we'll see what we can do here. Hey, Super Dad, how's it going? So I'm going to start in as light assault, see what we can get done. Probably not the greatest idea, honestly. Eclipse is meant for more of a close to mid-range, and these guys are a little bit beyond that. What I can do is grab a Ghost, close-range sniper rifle, and try to sneak up a little bit, inch my way up. These guys are even a little bit far for a Ghost. But we can peck it, folks. And if I can, try to actually get up onto this bridge, that would be ideal. I'm gonna shoot some recon darts over there for my friends, as well as to see what the minimap looks like myself. That's pretty funny, Lancer. Oh, there's an enemy right up there. Tried to line it up on his head. If you're you know, a fan of sniping, you certainly would probably want to use a longer range scope. I'm just almost as addicted to 1x scopes as I am medkits, so I almost always opt for the 1x scope where possible. Mainly for technical reasons. I prefer having the same sensitivity, the same magnification along all of my guns, all of my scopes. It's just better for muscle memory like that. Looks like we pushed them out of ItZMuRDA just as they pushed us out of Crux, so it's kind of a draw there, and that's why I was saying the fight that was going on at Silver Valley, which is still going on for TR and NC, is really kind of the type of fight that I love, that you can settle in on and just beat the crap out of each other back and forth. It's always some good fun. West Pass is heating up a little bit, but we still have the majority pop. I'm just looking at some of these other reinforcements needed. Hurricane, secure storage, Red Ridge, rationing watchtower, that could work. Could spawn directly into there because there's not a pop cap on Indar right now. With the hostile alert going on, it probably spread people out between the three continents a little bit more than focusing in on the two. What I was afraid of, however, which often happens at rationing watchtower, is am I not working on... I thought I had a different sniping loadout, but nonetheless, just grab a super cold coil. That's kind of like a straight pole bolt if you're familiar. Halloweenize this loadout real quick. Gonna throw a hold breath of some sort since it's a sniper rifle. And a slasher and a mask. Can't forget the mask. For infill, I might just go with skull face paint. It's not quite as obvious. And I was going to take a look at the guys up on the rocks to our to the northwest. Up here, it's often the case. Unfortunately, I'm getting a bit of screen shake from the various explosions, so maybe the Battle Hardened would have been a better choice. That said, there's a lot of guys that are actually, well, maybe not a lot, but a handful of guys that are in the base a little bit. So I'm going to jump down as heavy assault, see what this looks like. Let's see if I can do any damage down here as opposed to dealing with the guys way up on the hill. Using the Orion here, highly regarded as one of the best weapons in the game, and it is a default weapon that all VS characters start with. Don't have to pay Ascent or Assert. How about that? Ascent or Assert. to unlock it, much like the T9 Carve I was using before. So you can definitely get a lot done with the default weaponry. Looks like a lot of guys are over the actual A point now. I'm assuming they have moved to securing a spawn, yep, on the eastern side of that ridge. I'm going to move over there. I may jump back to engineer if I can get some good sticky grenades indoors here. Looks like they probably are going to have the A building, the entire A building, under fairly good control. Unfortunately, that dude had a shotgun and really lit me up. Just enough for that guy to finish me off pretty easily. Another thing I can do, go to my trusty light assault. This happens a lot when they're hunkered down in buildings adjacent to air towers, and just use this as a jump off point to bring you over to where they're at. We've got another guy with the same idea up here. Trying to avoid fire from where I know they are, so using this little alcove, see who I can shoot in the back. Unsuspecting. Big and juicy with cheese. And kind of whittle away at them from up here first. Just getting a little greedy there. Probably shouldn't follow him in there just yet. I think I just got revived. You get revived with, you know, a varying amount of health dependent upon the medic reviving you, and also, oh, there's a max coming out, so I'm trying to get back up here, and also without your shield, so you can be at anywhere from 25% to 50% health upon getting revived. So you definitely want to look out for that as somebody, you know, of the opposing real quick, as well as a medic or a individual getting revived to know when it's safe to take them and stuff like that. There's a revived nade going out. It's kind of like zombies as everybody pops up all at once. It's H1Z1 in PlanetSide.
Is with you.
Got a lot of guys still in this building, but as you can see, we're whittling away from a safe vantage point as our team pulls around. Now we actually have control of this room. I was afraid that grenade was going to kill that guy who was up there with the enemy, but I will apologize to him in a moment. Picking a dangerous time to sit there and type as a bunch of enemies walk through the door. Now they are back on this side of the building. I'm going to try to get back to the roof. You can see them all coming down the hill. You can take pot shots at them, but just the weapon that I have right now, the Eclipse, is not really going to do me a whole lot of good. I may kill somebody if I get lucky. I don't really think it's worth it going up against other weapons that they may have that are much more suited for that range. What the hell? It felt like VS weaponry to me. I don't know what that was. But for instance, if I had a Pulsar C carbine, that would be a lot more, you know, built for that long range, and I'd be able to more reliably take shots. They did reestablish their foothold in this, hey Zero, how's it going, in this building, so I'm going to kind of go back to playing the angles I was playing before here, as my team pushes in a bit. Well, that's me being an idiot and shooting at somebody because he has a green face paint on, neglecting the fact that he's a friendly, which I probably should have been paying attention to. But this is kind of goes to show. I don't necessarily think light assault is synonymous with cheap kills. I don't think infill is either. But it kind of goes to show that, you know, you can take advantage of a whole new axis, a whole new way of attacking your enemies that they're not really expecting when you know have good light assault placement. So I really think that's very, very useful. Oh, that guy had a mask on with the black face paint. Wanted to try to switch. Keep getting spooked by these guys wearing masks, even if they're friendlies. I was gonna say, saw a res grenade coming out. That was bad news. Should have watched that a moment ago. and or should have noticed that a moment sooner, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Might have been able to drop those two guys before they killed me. Construction site beta, that base is being lost in 10 seconds, not worth running over to. Looks like we've re-secured this for the time being. Somebody picked me up with a res. It is a TR base, but we've re-secured, you know, they captured the base, but we secured the cap point, so we kind of just flopped spots with them. I don't know if it'll last, if we don't really have a spawn point set up or anything like that, but we'll make it last as long as we can. Yeah, Lancener, I honestly don't mind it that much. I would probably prefer like a VX67 for close range or a Pulse RC for long range. But I also use a bunch of different weapons for Araxium metals, so I'm not necessarily always using the quote-unquote best weapon at any given time. I'm just, you know, working through the various choices. I think I have 89 or 90 Araxiums total between my 4 characters now, so I'm always just working on something else, getting a feel for different things and whatnot. But I don't mind it. It has a very small magazine if you run it through the full heat mechanic right away, which I guess is a price to pay for having essentially infinite ammo. Which comes in handy, like Nick said there, for being on top of that building and whatnot. Can maybe spawn at Crimson Bluff here. We're attacking it, we're outnumbered, I don't think. Yeah, no, they're already at our spawn. But that's the beauty of PlanetSide also, you can, you know, grab a few kills real quick. And even if you, you know, you didn't win the battle or whatever, where your spawn died right away, your empire got pushed out, you can still have fun with it. Why not? It cost me all of 30 seconds, got a few kills, had a laugh, and now we're back into the same spot. I was just eyeing some different fights instead. Yeah, I believe it is 25. If you were to equate it to how many bullets are fired from full to empty on a reload. Hayoko Bloodworks, possible. I wouldn't mind showing you some Haas in action, but I don't really feel like there's a base fight going on that warrants at the moment. It looks like nothing's really moving or shaking too much yet, just because it opened up. But Hassan is a swampy continent, if you're unfamiliar, much like Indar is more of the desert, Emmerich is more of the grassland, and Esamir is the snow. That's completely locked still, so I can't even show that at the moment. Esamir probably my favorite continent from a biome environmental standpoint. Hassan my favorite continent from a base fight standpoint, if I had to pick, but they all are great in their own way. For sure. Got about 15 minutes on the stream. At about the 5-minute mark or so, I'll probably begin to wrap things up, remind people what's going on, why we're all here, you know, provide you guys with all of the pertinent information. But for the next 10 minutes or so, we will be jumping around, finding a decent fight. Crux headquarters could be possible again as an option, even if it's a snipe fight or something like from far out. You can usually, Wocook is also an option. You can usually find something that works for everybody. Red Ridge Communications looking even better as a potential opportunity. Small fight, but there are more than twice as many people there, which is a good sign, I'd say, for a small to medium-sized fight. We've got a few people on the point right now. Not a whole lot of other action going on yet, according to the mini-map. Kind of popped over there a little bit aggressively. We obviously have a organized squad, platoon, or outfit on that point. Didn't mean to quite throw myself at them that much. Even though I did manage to take down a heavy, I was trying to kind of approach the hill like this, a little bit more conservatively, so that I could maybe pick targets a little bit better. Good shooting from that guy. Looks like we've cleaned up most of the people on point, trying not to team kill that guy there. Did that guy fall down and is shooting us from down there or something? That could be my only guess. I'm really quite curious, because he had an angle on me. Yes, he did. Well, there must have been a few of them down there. Yeah, that was a different guy. This must have been him. They are flipping the point again, which tells me they have somebody in range. There he is. I would assume they have like a beacon or something, bringing some folks back in. Whoa, that was an interesting... There's a guy up there, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So they do still have a consistent enough spawn that they're keeping people in the vicinity of the base. So they must have a ground mobile spawn asunder down bottom over here as well. I might actually just jump on engineer, or you know what I can do if I have the resources. Yeah, I do. I'll jump on a max. Why not? That way I'll have at least played each class for 5-10 minutes minimum. We're just running an anti-infantry max right now, so I don't really, I can't really do anything to these vehicles. I don't want to tango with them. I do, unfortunately, somehow just charged to nothing and blew my charge cooldown, which I was going to use to avoid the inevitable rocket launcher that guy threw at me. Nonetheless, I'm at half health already because of that, so I'm going to just drop here. That was very weird. I don't know what caused my charge to malfunction like that, but I was planning on that going better. You can obviously tell that despite maxes being very powerful, they can still get taken down by explosives and focus fire and malfunctioning abilities. Plus, my aggressive playstyle actually doesn't synergize so well with maxes a lot of the time unless you have your own support from your team, because they are fragile enough that they're going to just drop to focus fire like that. If you overextend, you really want to play them with an engineer support at the very least to heal them back up. But what I was trying to do there was to use my charge ability, which is innate on all maxes. You can swap it out for different abilities depending on your empire. But to use that to charge away, when I saw that heavy duck behind that box, I knew he was getting his rocket launcher out to shoot at me. I was going to try to charge around the box the other way and kill him before he could rocket me, but for whatever reason my charge didn't go anywhere. Nonetheless, I'm playing that engineer at the moment, running around with the same Eclipse carbine I was using on light assault, but now I have a wonderful friend known as sticky grenades, which require a little bit of a different sort of precision from grenades. Since they're not going to bounce, they're going to just stick to whatever they hit first, even if it is a player, which is the beauty of them. Since you can... I know what I should have done. Seeing if I could have bounced out of the spawn room with that and thrown a grenade up over there. I'm just throwing them blindly at the moment. Got a guy with it though. What I'm going to do is rearm at this terminal here. If you... I think that may go in place where I can kill a person or two. Yeah. I was going to say, if you hold your jump button or any sort of directional movement when taking jump pads, gravity lifts, and things of that sort, you'll be propelled extra in that direction. So that's what I was doing there to get a better grenade toss out of the spawn room. This base, unfortunately, has level design that makes it pretty easy to sit on the point despite it being only 50 meters from the spawn room while camping the spawn. So, shy of light assault, I don't really have a way around there, so that said, I think I'll switch back. You can certainly start playing the game as predominantly one class, focus on upgrading that and whatnot, whatever you feel is most efficient or most comfortable for you. But I do recommend getting familiar with additional classes, because you're going to find a handful of situations that are going to just do you a lot better by having access to those other classes. Just had a regular frag grenade there, unfortunately. If that was a sticky grenade, which light assaults do not have access to, That would have been a lot better yet. But still trying to assist here where we can. My flaming skull helmet not really doing too good in the incognito department once again, but it's all in good fun. 20 seconds on this base here. Got a grenade off, but again, just a regular grenade. Looks like about 13 seconds I can spawn as an engineer and hope for some good luck chucking sticky grenades, but you never know. I got 2 with that.
The facility is lost for the moment.
There's always some random guy behind me or something like that. We've got a couple other guys with that grenade at least. On that note, there is about 5 minutes left on the stream, and I don't want to run over or anything like that into the next person. That's not fair. Merlister is going to be coming up with some EQ gameplay, followed by Azure Twilight in PlanetSide 2, Military Gamers and Sergeant Ross in PlanetSide 2, Stamen, I believe is how you pronounce that, in DCUO after that. That runs you pretty much through midnight, Pacific's 3 a.m. Eastern. I don't know if the remaining 6 hours, because I believe it's supposed to go to 6 a.m. Pacific, have been decided yet. But definitely get in touch with Brass or RadarX or anybody at SOE if you're interested in doing that overnight stream to help fulfill the full 24-hour mark. But here we are now coming into, 12 hours completed at least, right? Or 13 hours completed going into the 14th. Or going into the 13th. I'm losing my mind. Anyway, it's been awesome. Thank you so much to SOE for the opportunity to stream. Thanks to Extra Life, of course, for making this all possible, and really helping out kids and children and charities that are definitely in need of the support. That is awesome and wonderful. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with me for the duration of this show. I really did appreciate it a whole lot. Congrats to the folks who either won a polar bear decal, or if you've donated, even better. I will be sending over those messages via Extra Life shortly. If you have any technical difficulties or anything like that, just feel free to reach out to me. I'll make sure you get your code. But thank you guys for supporting Extra Life. Thanks Extra Life and SOE for making all of this possible. And stay tuned, because there's more excitement coming up throughout the night right here on the SOE Twitch channel. So thanks again to everybody for tuning in, and this is what it's all about. I'm gonna refresh my page real quick on my end, see what we're at. We're closing in on 19,000. So over the duration of this show alone, we've made about $1,000 on the SOE team total. I doubt that's all thanks to me by any means. There's 118, actually up to 120 of us participating on the team, raising $18,660 so far to date. With a goal of 50,000, but anything we get, like I said, even $1 here and there, it all adds up, it all helps. So keep it coming. If you are interested in donating, just check out the link down below the stream, the Team SOE page on Extra Life. You can find my page on there along with the other 119 participants. Donate to anybody. Participate yourself if you're a streamer or whatever. Create your own account, join the team. Pitch in any way that you possibly can. Spread the word even. It really all helps out. So thank you guys again so very much. It's been my pleasure to be a part of all of this and to help out in any way that I can. And I will see you guys with our regular return of the L2PS2 broadcasts this Monday night on twitch.tv/PlanetSide2, the official PlanetSide 2 channel, where we will continue with our usual shenanigans. And you can catch me at ItZMuRdA.com or twitch.tv/ItZMuRdA_TV. Put my name in chat there if you guys are interested in following up. If you're new to PlanetSide, or if you've been playing for a while, maybe you have some other questions. Maybe I sparked some interest, hopefully. So feel free to reach out to me directly, and be happy to help out any way that I can. So thank you so much. All right, yeah, Merlister's in chat. He's ready to go. So tune in, stay tuned for some EQ with him, and he's going to start up here momentarily. And then PS2 will be returning after that, DCO, and all of the wonderful SOE games that they have in their lineup. Thank you again to everybody for coming out. I really appreciated you hanging out with me. And thanks again to SOE and Extra Life for making this all possible. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and thanks so much for the support. Stay tuned.